this final video, I want to look at flooding just a little bit, since this is the time where people tend to actually worry about rivers, is when they start to flood. So there's a couple of types of floods. One example is what we call a valley flood. In this case, you've got a river that's a meandering stream in a nice wide valley, nice well-developed floodplain, and you have some sort of long-term weather pattern that the water rises and rises and rises and overtops the banks. That's sort of where your definition of a flood is. It's the discharge of water where the river is actually going to overtop its banks. So here's a beautiful picture. This is taken July 4th, 1988. This is what the area should look like. You've got the Missouri, the Mississippi, and I forget which river this is, but they're all running together right here, which means the discharge moving through this area right here is super high. So you can see there's vegetation, there's lots of city here. This is what the area should look like. During 1993, this area actually flooded. And if you look over here, now you can see just how much of these areas are completely underwater. This is a major, major flooding event. Some of these areas actually sat underwater for over 200 days during the year. So this is a major flooding problem. You can also have flash flooding. This happens when you have a really high discharge in a very short amount of time. What that does is the water gets really deep and it moves really, really fast. This is an example of a flash flood that happened in Sedona. The hardest hit area was the Tlaquepaque area. That's right along the river. It's kind of an artsy-fartsy place. Lots of art studios and stores that sell art. And it's mainly the parking lot that got hit the worst. So here's a picture of the water coming through Tlaquepaque. And here is what it looked like afterwards. And this was only in the span of minutes. It was far less than an hour for all of this to happen. And then of course, since the sediment slowed back down, it deposited all that red mud behind as the water got slower. Now, some famous floods and famous causes of floods. For one, a dam failure. So we put dams on the rivers, sometimes to reduce flooding impacts, sometimes to make lakes, sometimes for water control. In Johnstown, Pennsylvania, back in 1889, there was a dam that created a little lake for what was basically a country club camping area. It's a place where a lot of the rich from Pittsburgh, had like summer homes and summer cabins. And there was a big lake created by this dam that failed one morning thanks to especially high rain. And when the dam failed, it sent a wall of water going down the river and into Johnstown, Pennsylvania. It actually killed over 2,200 people. This goes down in U.S. history as one of the deadliest natural disasters because of this flood. And of course, this was mostly man-made, although Johnstown does sit down inside a pretty narrow river canyon, which makes it more prone to violent floods anyway. Another failure of flood control methods is Hurricane Katrina. So Hurricane Katrina obviously flooded New Orleans, but it wouldn't have been nearly as bad as it was had the levees not failed and filled in areas that we had already drained that were below sea level. So this, although the hurricane exacerbated it, this was also a pretty much human-caused effect. And I'll leave you this nice parting shot of a lovely babbling stream.